Good morning. We are starting. And welcome to Unity Olympia in our new home, Temple Beth Hatfield Road. I'm Terry Charles. This is Lydia Beth Leinbach. And will you stand and we will lift our hearts in praise. Early in the morning, when I rise, I lift my hands in praise because I'm alive. And late at night, when I lay down, I lift my heart in praise for the love I found. And I sing, ooh, 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 for the love I found. Early in the morning, there it is. When I rise, I lift my hands in praise because I'm alive. And late at night, when I lay down, I lift my heart in praise for the love I found. And I sing, ooh, 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 for the love I found, for the love I found, for the love I found. Welcome. Good morning.
Oh, thank you, Lydia Beth Leinbach and Ms. Terry Charles. Appreciate you being here this morning. I'm going to light this candle as a symbol of that divine light that shines within all people. I didn't prime it. Ooh, look at that. That's a big. Yeah. Didn't prime it this morning, which I usually do. But that was kind of a fun thing. In Unity, we honor all faith traditions and all paths to God. And at Unity of Olympia, we are promoting lives of freedom and joy. So please join me in prayer right now. Spirit, we open our hearts, our minds, every cell of our bodies to the awareness of this luminous presence that lives and moves and has its being within and all around us. We recognize in prayer that our very life energy, that any love we feel for another, that everything that exists is from the source of all creation. We pray in great gratitude, knowing that as this being is the life of God, we are a blessing to one another and to the world. Thank you, God. Together, thank you, God. Amen.
And don't sit down, stay standing, and we are going to do Catriel's Nigun. And Nigun, I pretty much knew the meaning of it, but Lydia Beth told me that the Nigun technically is a song without words. And and the purpose of it is to open ourselves to spirit. So it's not without words. It is either the word lie or the word whatever you want it to be. And I just kind of start with lie. So I'm going to do a little I will sing, and you can sing after me. We'll learn it. Some of you have done it, but it starts with, wait, what's up? Lie, 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 go. Lie, 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 lie. So we do that 2 times. Here's the second time. Lie, 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 lie. And then it's lie, 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 lie. Do that. Lie, 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 lie. Whole thing again. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Then it goes. Lie, 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 lie,
Today's birthday, huh? What? So on the second Sunday of every month, we celebrate birthdays. This is one of my favorite things to do because I want to know that you're all 39 and holding. Except for those of you who haven't reached it yet. Who has a January birthday? Stand back. Yay! You know what? We're the winners. We're still alive. Woo! Let's sing a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you're wonderful. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you, you're wonderful. God is blessing you now. Happy birthday, everyone. God bless you. God bless you.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to our temporary home. Welcome back to the temple, and those of you at your home, welcome back to join us in our spiritual community. In this place, we acknowledge that the land on which we currently are standing or sitting is the original territory of the Sechas and other indigenous tribes. The Sechas are of the Squaxin Island tribe. The mountains, the trees, the rivers, everything around us is imbued with their spirit. Okay, so this is the time when we invite our youth ed director, Lisa Petrich, to come forward along with the youth for their youth lesson.
Well, good morning. Whoopsie daisy. Good morning, Nova. She's got one shoe off, one shoe on. Little Nova, right? Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? So this is Stella and Jude. They have been gone for a while, but they're back to join us, and we're so glad they've gotten taller. So they're new to this routine, so we're gonna give them a little break. But all I need you to do is, how How about if we have Stella this time? Just reach in and pull one thing out for me. What's one thing you'd like to pull out? Oh, we did this one last week. Can we reach and pull one more thing out? There you go. Thank you, friend. Yes, we did that one. I'll put that in your pocket or something here. Here, can we take that? Thank you. Okay. This is an impromptu gig here. Impromptu. So you know the question I'm going to ask, and what I ask every week is, how does this wonderful, both of them actually, these beautiful days, how are they to help us to be mindful or closer to God? How can this help us to be mindful? Our spirit is blossoming. Our spirit is blossoming. Anything else? They're welcoming. They're welcoming. Anything else? How does this help us to be closer to God or mindful? So what we do each week is we look at something, a regular, everyday object that you normally wouldn't think of. Okay, I can think about this as a God item. I can think about this as helping me be mindful. Because sometimes when we're in our emotions, we need something close by that can help us to just ground, right? And if we can pick up one little item and even ask ourselves that question, how can this help me be more mindful in this moment? And it helps us to ground ourselves and ground our emotions. So repeat after me. Say, I am the beauty of life. I am the beauty of life. In expression. In expression. Thank you, friends. Thank you. We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light, in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God.
I would like to remind you that it's your generosity that makes all of this possible. Our music program, our youth program, and we always are very grateful for the fact that you share your prosperity with our spiritual community. Thank you so much. As we prepare for the Daily Word, a member of the prayer team will come forward to read the Daily Word for us, and we invite you to join the prayer team in affirming that all of the prayers in the prayer request box have already been answered. Together we hold the high watch, knowing that the truth for these dear ones is wholeness, prosperity, and love. And now Linda Ira will read the Daily Word.
So before I start reading, I want to invite you to turn around. You see a candle right at the back of the middle section. That's what the prayer team box is now. So feel free to put your prayers in the prayer box. They are prayed with confidentially by the prayer team, and then we send them to Seventh Unity where they're held in prayer for 30 days, which is pretty awesome. I am not going to pray after service today because we have a meeting and get cleaned up for that. So, but please put your prayers in the prayer box. It's usually my wonderful responsibility to take them home and do that, and I love sitting with them all week and seeing your faces and praying with whatever you need. So I invite you to do that. Today's daily word, we also can go to unityofolumbia.org and request prayer on that. Today's daily word is freedom. The divine presence within guides me to freedom. At times, I may feel hemmed in by circumstances, limited by lack of opportunity, or faced with an unwelcome situation and no good choice. When that happens, I may feel anything but free. Rather than despair, I find my freedom in God and a limitless expression of mind divinity. Shifting my perspective from the limits of the world to the expanse and perfection of spirit, peace fills me. I relax and remember that no earthly trouble is greater or more enduring than God. I claim the power of God and feel a strength beyond mere human strength. As moment by moment, I release limiting beliefs and reclaim the power I have given to my problems. Spirit lives in me and as me. This truth is my freedom. From 2 Corinthians 3, verse 17, now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. The divine presence within guides me to freedom. I invite you to affirm that with me. The divine presence within guides me to freedom. And so it is.
This is the time in our service where we affirm our statement of faith, and I invite you to join me with There Is Only One. Together, please. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God good, all power, presence, and wisdom. It is in God that I live, move, and have my being. And we know this is so.
Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for the next thing I do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for the next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is never coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for the next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before, broken hearts and slamming doors. I'll be alright 'cause I live once more, just as I did back then. I'll go rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for the next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for the next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything. It's gonna be everything
Bring it on, everything new. Like, where do I stand? Is this what I want, or is this what I want? Or do I want to be back there? You think this is good right here? Okay, I'll try this week. And then we'll see, right? I mean, that's the thing about everything being new, is that we can try different things, and if it doesn't work, we change our mind and try something else. Or we can try something until it feels comfortable. There's lots of different ways of doing new things, of changing. I like that song especially because for some people it speaks to personal experience. I'm guessing and for a lot of people, it speaks to personal. It speaks to my personal experience. You know, one of the things that I like to do when I'm thinking about the new year is I like to think about, well, what happened last year? And this past year, one of the things that's happened in this community is that we've been reviewing the past over and over. Anybody tired of it? There's a couple of hands, yeah. So here's what I did do. I bought myself a digital photo frame. And I loaded up so far 290 photos. And I haven't gotten to the last 10 years yet. The really nice thing about looking at photos is that I don't have any photos of crying. I don't have any photos of pain. I don't have any photos of, oh, that was the hardest thing that I walked through that year. I have photos of joy, of adventure, of even some photos of big change that was really exciting. So that's what we're invited into as well. Here, I'm going to read from, I'm going to read from this that I typed up in 20-point font, because some things ain't never coming back. This is from day 8, 30 Days of Fearless Living. It's a booklet that I made available last week. There are some left. I think there's a dozen or so downstairs. So if you're interested in practicing a daily practice of letting go, we're practicing as a community the 30-day challenge, and I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Today is day 8, as it is the 8th of January. And this is from Eric Butterworth. The great truth taught by the mystics of all ages is life is lived from within out. This means that the whole universe is concentrated at the point where you are. More than this, you are the universe expressing as you. You are its living enterprise. It forever stands behind you with its full resources. However, there's always a but. The fullness of this universal support comes through you, not just to you. The most profound knowledge you can attain is that your whole existence flows forth inexorably from a universal process, which is always from within out. And so it is. You are God's living enterprise. God forever stands behind you with its full resources for all that you need. That's why we can say with absolute faith, today's affirmation, which I'm going to use over and over. The divine presence guides us to freedom. You want to say that with me? The divine presence guides us to freedom. So today I want to talk about the purpose of spiritual community. Why we're here. I want to talk about the science behind this statement that we just affirmed together. New science. And I want to talk about a story of challenge and overcoming. So, let's begin here. What is the purpose of spiritual community? Now, we had a mission and a vision, right? We are here to do certain things, to celebrate, meditate, learn, serve, and affirm the divine in all people. To help each other do that stuff, because sometimes it's hard to see the divine in all people. Okay, maybe just for me. Just saying. So those are the tools that we use in this community that allow us to live into the truth of who and what we are, right? We recognize that there is a God presence, a Christ essence, a higher self, a divine self, that is the truth of who and what we are. And so really, what our work is, our real purpose in spiritual community is change. are expressing as that doesn't match up with the truth of who and what we are, with our highest self. This is the essence of transformation. And for a lot of people, I mean, that word's been used so much that it's lost its glow, right? It's not that transformation is about becoming something different than you are. It is becoming who and what you really are. Does that sound good? And am I the only one that is not made it there yet 100% of the time? Right, that's the point of spiritual community. I love the quote from Zig Ziglar that says, positive thinking, and it's great, but it doesn't last. And Zig Ziglar says, yeah, neither does a shower. We do it every day. Every day. And sometimes we wash our hands multiple times throughout the day. So this is just a once a week pickup. Janine quoted an author. She said, every year you make a resolution to change yourself. This year, make a resolution to be yourself. Nice. So that's what we're about, freedom and joy. And Linda Ira, right up here, read the Daily Word today. She wrote the article on behalf of the prayer team in the newsletter. If you don't get the newsletter, it's filled with all kinds of goodies, talk starters, so, if you want to give a talk. She listed a series of questions in there that are really powerful places for thinking about the new year, for thinking about how do I show up differently if I'm in perfect alignment with my highest self. She says, here's a question to ponder. Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up in the world? What makes my heart light, bringing me joy? That's a good question, huh? What practices make me feel connected to the divine? So this 30-day challenge, this annual invitation, is about supporting one another in prayer and going ahead and walking the path and being in those questions. Every day there's a reading in here. And it is a fundraiser. So this is how I do it. This was suggested by Carolyn Hendricks and Mary Ellen Saltis. They put together this little program that we roll out every year. Get a journal. And I tell you, money is a reflection of our value, right? So get a jar and determine in advance, what is the amount of money you're willing to commit that morning to keeping this commitment to yourself of becoming a greater expression of who you already are. So for me, I have a jar that I painted a couple years ago. And I put $1 in the morning. That's my commitment. I'm making a commitment. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And then at the end of the day, I take a moment to reflect on my day. And it doesn't matter. I mean, first I had this idea. Mary Ellen suggested you just put money in at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day. And I thought, if I screw it up, I'm not putting money in. And then I realized that, you know what, being able to notice where I didn't make a mark, being able to notice it and see it, and then offer myself some compassion around that, and calling that valuable, allowed me to put that money in there again. So you choose the amount. One year I did $5 bills because I had a whole bunch of gifts given to me at Christmas time, but I just felt so generous, I was giving away $10 a day. What? This year, not quite so much. So, you still have an opportunity to join in that. Of course, that's a fundraiser that never ends, right? The divine presence within is the one, right? That highest self, God, by whatever name of Christ. that is guiding us to this experience of freedom and joy. So this is a tool that maybe will work for you. This week was Epiphany. Anybody have an Epiphany this week? A few people had Epiphanies. Wow. Okay, those are the ones. Note them down so we can take them. I want them up here. Yeah. You know, as a holiday, January 6th is Epiphany, and it's observed as a church festival in commemoration of the coming of the Magi as the first manifestation of the Christ to the Gentiles in the Eastern Church. Webster's, however, defines it as an illuminating discovery, realization, or disclosure. Really like that one, don't you? So I'm going to listen to podcasts. They're the latest. If you haven't started listening to podcasts, they're the rage. All the time. So one of the podcasts I like to listen to is Hidden Brain. It's sponsored usually on NPR by Shankar Vedanta. He's the host, and then he gets people on there to interview. This last week it was psychologist Ken Sheldon from the University of Missouri. And he's published a new book, which is, why he goes on there. It's called Freely Determined, What the New Psychology of the Self Teaches Us About How to Live. And it addresses the question, who do you want to be? So Sheldon uses the concept of two minds, the conscious mind and the non-conscious mind. Most of us are familiar with subconscious, but he says that there's so much baggage around the idea of the subconscious that that's where, as Jung called it, the shadow lives. But he says that there's great power, there's great knowledge, and there's great wisdom in our non-conscious mind. Many of you have had that experience of going to sleep with a problem and waking up in the morning and suddenly you had a dream that provided you some information, right? Well, so he has spent a lot of time with this, and he did a couple of research studies. One of those studies, he had students come in and he put them in a room, and he had two groups, right? So one, he put in a room and there were magazines and there were puzzles. And he said to that group, I'll pay you $1 for every puzzle that you complete, up to 5 puzzles. And so what he did was he kept track of the number of students that finished that 5 puzzles and then continued to play puzzles versus finished that 5 puzzles and turned to the magazines. Almost all of them finished the 5 puzzles and started with the magazines. And so then he did another group where he had them just go into a room, and he said, here's a room, here's some puzzles that might be interesting, or there's some magazines. The puzzles are a newer puzzle, you might like those. And then left the room, left them in there for a predetermined period of time. It was identical to the other group. And the majority of the people in that group just played puzzles the whole time. Isn't that interesting? The group that was being given a reward quit after the reward was complete. They could get no more reward. But the group that was playing for the joy of playing just kept on playing. He shares that because one of the things that we do at New Year's is we set these goals and we have these ideas about what we want to change and what we want to do with our bodies or whatever, right? And yet, it's not really in alignment with our non-conscious mind. Our conscious mind says, stop eating the cookies. Our non-conscious mind says, I like cookies. They taste so dang good. That's quite the reward right there in that cookie. So he says that what can happen is that the way to reach our goals then is not to give up. He doesn't say that, just give up. What he says is that if we align our conscious minds with our non-conscious mind, then we have more power. Is this starting to sound a little spiritual to you? I'm like, I'll listen to the rest of what this guy has to say. So he's created this whole idea. There's a 3-step process that he suggests that we engage in. He says, he's got a name: preparation, illumination, and verification. He says, be willing to be in the question. That is the preparation. So whatever the question is, when we were doing our visioning group and deciding whether we would stay or go from our own home, it was, should we stay or should we go? Right? I was thinking about cookies. Should I cook cookies? How? Right? That's a better question. How would it be for me? How would I have support? So whatever the question is for you, how would walking every day, how can I find more joy in my life? How can I walk through this challenge that I have ahead of me? Right? Whatever the question is. And you just ask the question, something you don't know the answer to already. And then you let it go. And just let it rest. And then eventually will bubble up ideas. Now some of those ideas are going to be fabulous and some of them are going to be not so much. Now he calls this epiphany. He says that these are the epiphany ideas that come forward. And of course we can do mindfulness meditation, right? That's sitting and just paying attention to the thoughts that cross your mind. Paying attention to your dreams. Prayer. There's one. Asking a question and sitting in silence and just seeing what shows up. And then this verification piece is to be willing to question the validity of the information. Is this an expression of the truth of who and what I am? So those 3 pieces: preparation, question; illumination, being willing to wait and listen; and then verification, seeing if it really aligns. So this is epiphany explained through a scientific lens, or at least a psychological scientific lens. An illuminating discovery, realization, or disclosure. I love it when science just comes out and creates a whole new name for what we've been calling prayer meditation, don't you? And in a world where the spiritual, not religious, is growing, where there's a lot of pain around religion, absolutely we want this out there. I want people to be able to have a practice, even if they've decided that somehow religion, church, spirituality, that those are not things that they're interested in. But this practice, even though it's a spiritual practice that he brings forward, it is the practice of the divine presence within guiding to freedom. Can y'all see that? The divine presence within guides me to freedom. Together, the divine presence within guides me to freedom. All right, y'all know the story of David and Goliath, right? Okay, well, I say that, but, maybe if somebody doesn't, you wouldn't want to go crazy. Yeah, I get that. It's a story from the book of Samuel about overcoming and challenge. The Philistines are up on one hill, and the Israelites are up on another hill, and down in the middle there's this valley. That's the battle line, right? Down in the valley. And the Philistines and the Israelites are like, yeah, we're going to get you, we're going to get you. They're throwing rocks back and forth, but nothing's happening. So the shepherd, the youngest boy, David, he leaves his sheep to deliver lunch to his big brothers, his big warrior brothers. And And he gets there and he says, there's no war. What the heck is going on here? And he gets told, well, they got this guy over there, Goliath. And he's gigantic. And he keeps coming out. We think we're going to get him, but then we know that we can't get him. And so we back up. So David gets found, and he decides, I can do that. He says, I can do that. And then he wanders off back. And then the king sends for him and says, you think you can do it? Come on. We'll have you do it. The king puts on the armor, gives him a sword, and he's like, can't do it. It's too heavy. I can't even walk around. So he takes the armor and the sword off, and he picks up his slingshot. And he goes to the battlefield, and Goliath comes out, and sure enough, using the tools that he already has, the ones that he already knows how to work with, he slings a stone at Goliath, and Goliath drops. And after Goliath drops, then Israelites and the Philistines go into their argument, right? They go into battle, and the Israelites won. David in this story represents faith. Faith that it can be done. It's also an interesting thing to see the humble, the person, the character that is the supposedly weakest, being identified as the one that overcomes the big challenge. We do metaphysics, and I want to just do a quick rundown here. David represents faith. His brothers represent desire for change, the desire to overcome. Goliath represents the obstacle, the cookies, or the voice of diminishment within. The king represents those outside authority figures that, and the armor and the sword represent the tools that might work for somebody else, but might not work for you. So using Professor Sheldon's formula, here we go. We see David confronted in a situation, and he asks some questions. What will happen in my life if I overcome this problem? How do I do it? His inner voices respond, I can't, I'm not strong enough. Those are the brothers. Well, if I'm going to do this, I better get all the help I can get. That's the king. One at a time, David turns away from those voices that do not ring true until he hears the voice that sounds true to him. I already have all I need. This is the highest self, right? The God self within. Preparation, illumination, and verification. So for those who are making New Year's resolutions or accepting the 30-day challenge, or those who just really want to become more aligned with the truth of who you already are, we tap into our David aspect, that faith quality. We send faith out first. It's not the warrior that leads. It's not the king that leads. It's being willing to let faith be the leader and use the tools that you know are the right tools for you. The divine presence within guides me to freedom. Together. The divine presence within guides me to freedom. The kids today are studying the Fourth Agreement from Don Miguel Ruiz's book, The Four Agreements. It's number one, be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. He says, can have many great ideas in your head, but what makes the difference is the action. Without action upon an idea, there will be no manifestation, no results, no reward. As I review this lesson today, I would say the most important action is the prayer action. Preparation, illumination, and verification. Because once we align with our highest self, or come into concordance, as Dr. Sheldon would have it, then the rest follows with ease. So I invite you to make the divine presence within you the guide in all you do, to bring about lives of freedom and joy, and to make everything new. We'll move into a time of meditation with song. So I invite you to perhaps wiggle a little in the chair so that you can be fully rested. Allow it to be of the maximum comfort to your back, your legs. And let's take a big deep breath. Close your eyes if that's comfortable, or find a focal point upon which your eyes can rest. Bringing the attention back to the breath. We notice it flowing with ease. We recognize that it carries with it all that this body needs to make everything new. That the breath enters the lungs and moves to the heart, through the cells to every part of the body, providing life. In this time of rest, we invite forward the opportunity to question. What is it that I am being called to make new? How might that newness how would this experience of change bring about greater harmony and peace? We allow the highest self, the Christ, the divine within us, to guide and to direct our thoughts in response to these questions. In faith, we know that all is well. And so let us enter a few moments of silence to commune with our God within our hearts and our minds. Thank you, Creator of the universe, for the gift of life you have given me. Thank you for giving me everything that I have ever needed. Thank you for the opportunity to experience this beautiful body and this wonderful mind. Thank you for living inside me with all your love, your pure and boundless spirit, with your warm and radiating light. Thank you for using my words, using my eyes, for using my heart to share your love wherever I go. I love you just the way you are. And because I am your creation, I love myself just the way I am. Help me to keep the love and the peace in my heart, and to make that love a new way of life, that I may live in love the rest of my life. And so it is. Amen.
The will of my heart is to be open, constantly. The
Thank you, Reverend Terry, for that message. It reminds me of, I only know 2 quotes. They both come from the same source, and your talk reminded me of one of them. Mark Twain once said, "Be yourself. Nobody is better qualified." I love that quote. So this is the time where we welcome our guests, and I have to confess that sometimes when I go through this, I feel like I'm putting people on the spot. It might surprise you to know that I feel that way. I ask them to raise their hands. So I reframe that because my epiphany was, some of you know, and the rest of you are about to find out, that for the last month I have returned to my practice, to work. I know, think of how I felt about it. One of the owners became pregnant and could not quite get all of her days covered and asked if I would come out of retirement after 5 years. And I said, well, if I can remember how to set the alarm. So I'm going in on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for the last 4 weeks and the next 3 weeks, and then I return to retirement. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because 6 times in the 8 days that I have been there, a parent has said the following words to me: "You were my dentist when I was a kid." I've had no grandparents say that yet. So the reason I'm telling you this is because it really reframed the welcome. And I really felt welcomed by these people. They were happy to see me, which was great. And it really made me feel, differently about welcoming those of you who are new or visiting or just back after a while. So actually, I really encourage you to accept our welcoming when I say, is there anybody visiting from another Unity church today? Do we have any visitors from another Unity ministry? If so, if you raise your hand. Okay, so the next category, I know we have some hands going up. And this is for those of you who are members but have been gone for a while. So maybe you're here for the second or third time, or you've been away for a while. And we want to welcome you back. Yeah. We're so happy to see your smiling masks again, which is fabulous. And now do we have anyone who's here for the very first time, a brand new person for the first time? Wonderful. So as you were discovering right over here, Sandy, would you raise your hand one more time? So as you're discovering, the welcome team has a packet for you, and in that packet there's a form which I normally have a copy of, but I don't, but it's pretty clear. If you fill the form out, we have a gift for you, so please feel free to do so. And we'd like to get to know you, so we hope to do so. At this time, we're going to do our conscious contribution. You know there are many ways to give. You can do it electronically, you can do it online, you can do it by Venmo, for those of you who know what that is. Venmo is kind of a new thing. I was introduced to it by my wife, who is way more hip than I am. And so there are a lot of ways to do it, but of course you can always write your check. So at this time, if the ushers could please come forward, I would invite each of you to take your conscious contribution into your heart, into your mind, into your hand, whichever may be the appropriate category for your contribution today. And let us bless it all together with divine love. Together, please. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Open to the sacred richness of our infinite source, we as Unity of Olympia joyfully co-create unlimited prosperity right now. Thank you, God.
Today I'm grateful. Today I'm grateful.
not serving as ushers, please know that this team, along with the other teams that are of service, but this team, I keep changing what they should do. You just got a new list today, right? Yeah, last week it was all different, today it's all different, probably different in 2 weeks. You know, that's the stuff that comes along with moving into a new place and a new way of being. So let us bless the ushers along with these gifts today. Spirit, we recognize that life, love, beauty are all part of the creation of Source. And so we bless these gifts knowing that they are symbols of life, love, and beauty, of gratitude, of hope. Hope for a world that wakes up to spiritual living. Hope for ourselves and each other. We're so grateful for the opportunity to be in community. Thank you, God. Together, thank you, God. Amen.
I hope all of you have become more accustomed to finding everything happening at Community of Olympia at its or at uniofolympia.org. Everything is always posted there at all times, and if you forget that, well, mostly it's posted there. Some of it. You can also get one of the handouts that posts everything. A couple things I want to emphasize here. Right after the service today, for those of you who will be joining us on your trip to Unity Village, there will be a quick organizational meeting immediately after the service today. So please hang out. I don't think it'll be a real long meeting.
No, like 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Unless you have questions. Okay, however long it takes to answer questions, we'll do a 5-minute presentation and then we'll see.
Next week is the White Stone ceremony. Audrey Pittsford will be here with us. Always one of my favorites.
She's got a talk title for it called A God That Looks Like Me. That is it.
It's really good. Also, I just want to remind everybody on the backside of the bulletin today, to remind you that the event signups are now all occurring online. So with all the things that are happening here at Unity, it's important that you go online to sign up if you're doing the Bible study class or any other class for that matter. That is where you now take care of business. We don't have the paper forms.
We have one sign-up sheet for downstairs for those who really are not ever going to go online. There we go. See, I got one right here. So there is a sign-up sheet downstairs, but it's not for separate events. You put your name, your email, and the event that you need us to register you for.
That'll teach you not to go online. Have to say what you want. As you all know, at Unity, we believe in the power of prayer, but as Linda mentioned, because of the meeting immediately after today's service, there will be no individual prayers, but as she invited you, the prayer box is sitting in the back, so please feel free to add your prayer request to the box in the back. The flowers today were donated by Donna Bardell. Some of you remember Donna. She was our community coordinator for quite a while, now living in Florida. Lovely flowers again. And we don't have the popsicle sticks anymore, so the power of the platform. There we are. I'm crazed with power now. So I think it's really important. Karen Reddick is putting notices in the monthly bulletin about some of our volunteers. Volunteers do so much at this church. I think they deserve some recognition. So it brings me really great pleasure today to give the flowers to a couple who do all kinds of things here. Ushering, platform assisting, singing, streaming. Do we all know who that is? That's Steve and Deb Mazeppa. We appreciate all the two of you do, and we hope you enjoy the flowers. Do you have anything else, sir?
I am taking a couple of weeks off. So that was a lot of work that last 5 months, before the first of the year. So I'll be taking a couple of weeks off. I will be back week after next. I trust that whatever doesn't go right next week is all going to be okay. Oh, wait a minute. Whatever doesn't go the way I want it to go.
Very important clarification. So just one final reminder for those of you who have agreed to help take many of the things we get to leave here now, I understand, but like the platform here actually needs to get changed, so some of you have volunteered to do that. Please stick around for that. And on that note, I think it's time for the prayer of protection.
You want to pray? Let's stand up and pray together. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So it is. Thank you for joining us on the stream today. Have a great week.